Hello, this is Yomokurum.
Hello, this is Gominsu.
This is the Palisade, born with Hyundai Motor Group's second generation, next generation hybrid system, TMED2. Chief, we had a test drive today. Could you briefly sum up your impression in one word?
Ogitong Palisade.
Ogitong. There used to be Sagitong and Yukgitong. What does Ogitong mean?
Adding the hybrid system made the rotation even smoother.
So the texture missing in Sagitong.
That's right. This one is much smoother than the gasoline 8-speed I drove before. At low speeds, instead of a sudden torque burst, it smoothly combines with the motor for a steady push, feeling like adding another cylinder.
So, 5 cylinders.
Yes, that's right.
Then, let's check now what's different about the undercarriage of the 5-cylinder hybrid vehicle. Of course, we have to check the next generation hybrid systems engine room before moving on.
That's right, since it has a new engine, Ligium-O.
Wait, Captain, shine the light there. Something's changed. Just the cover. Even though it changed, not at all. The cover has changed so much that it looks completely different.
We also looked at the Palisade gasoline model last time, right? But if it looks different now, there must be things we can notice. With all these colors, especially the orange on the high voltage battery line, you can tell at a glance that this is a hybrid. The first thing you noticed after seeing the Santa Fe and Sorento 1.6 turbo hybrids is that this engine is clearly larger.
It's large and takes up more space.
So the engine size is really big, but structurally it's the same. The engine, transmission, and even the location of the high voltage battery module are almost identical.
Since this vehicle has electronic controlled suspension.
That's right, since it has the preview function, you can see the preview wiring here.
Is this new in the latest model?
That's right, the strut ring is included starting from this LX3.
LX3? But sir, does adding this part really matter?
Manufacturers are companies that are always fighting with the production cost of making cars.
They even try to save every 10-1 coin.
But they included this.
Ah, is that how I should interpret it?
That's right, but the fact that they included this means there must be a reason for it. It's because there's a difference.
It definitely affects the driving performance.
That's right.
So that's how I should think about it.
That's right, you can look at it that way. First of all, the platform is the same as the gasoline version, so the layout is also the same. But now it's a new hybrid engine. I took a look under the hood, and I didn't mention this last time during the review, but something that's a bit disappointing about the Peli. Disappointing. The external air filter wasn't included again.
Ah, Foreman, the external air filter, we usually just call it the filter, the one in front of the air filter.
That's right, it's also called the air conditioner filter.
What are the benefits of an external air filter?
If you have an external air filter, when you take off the cowl cover, you can see the air conditioner filter inside. It's just completely exposed.
It feels so empty like this. The external air filter just adds a structure in front of it.
Yes, just add a structure that acts as a filter to block large dust particles from outside. Our home air purifiers filter particulate matter 1.0 first, then particulate matter 2.5, and so on. You can think of it as serving that kind of role.
It's like adding one more filter. It's a filter that removes coarse dust.
That's right. If soot or exhaust from outside doesn't enter, after a few months of driving, the air conditioner filter will still be clean.
Because of that difference, my car's filter is really dirty, but just that one layer makes a big difference for the cabin filter.
That's right. Imported cars almost all have it, and as for domestic cars, only the Genesis lineup has it. GV, 70GV, 80, and those models have it.
But I thought the Palisade, which is supposed to be a luxury car, would have an outside air filter this time.
I was hoping they would include it.
Yeah, I know.
I really wanted them to include it, so it was disappointing.
Because I can do it myself.
I have to buy it from the aftermarket and install it myself, but I thought it would have been much better if they made a dedicated one like this, so I just wanted to mention it.
If you need it, you can do it yourselves. And they've also put plenty of sound-absorbing material on the hood like this.
That's right. What do you think this car costs?
This car? I know it's 71 million won.
That's right, 71 million won, so it's no surprise this is included.
We need to be more objective about this. Understood. All right, let's see what else changed.
We're going to try tasting the tea now.
Wow, it's huge, really huge. The new Palisade equipped with the next generation hybrid system. Let's check out what differences there are in the undercarriage and how it compares to the previous hybrid systems. All right, let's begin with the front suspension.
Last time we looked at the Palisade gasoline model, right? It's not much different, really, not much different. The brake system features a single piston large caliper with a 345mm disc.
345.
Yes, it was installed as is, and when I checked, it turned out that the spring uses a hybrid exclusive spring.
So it looks the same, but it's actually different.
That's right, there is a difference. I brought a Palisade gasoline spring here, and you can see the mark is different.
This is the spring for the gasoline vehicle, and you can see there are differences in color and other aspects.
Yes, the difference in color means the spring stiffness is different.
The color of the spring, Mr. Banjang, the fact that the spring has changed,
means the suspension feels different.
The ride comfort, so that's why.
Yes, it's different in the front and back. So I checked the part numbers and the specs are different between the gasoline preview model and the hybrid preview model.
They intentionally set them up differently.
Correct. They've effectively used sound-absorbing materials on the wheel guide as well.
In most cars, only the front wheel area has sound-absorbing material with raw plastic in front, but this premium model uses it on both front and back. The Santa Fe as well.
So like this, I think they're good at these parts, so I think they're good at this. And let's take a look at the back as well. The back is also 330mm.
330.
Next, it has brakes with ventilated type discs.
It's a ventilated type, a ventilated lead type, which helps with heat dissipation.
With a rear preview suspension, you can see the electronic shock absorber wiring like this.
If there's wiring, it's an electronically controlled suspension.
The rear springs also have different part numbers compared to the gasoline version. So since the rear springs have different part numbers, I think the softness, the feel, or maybe even the suspension settings are a bit different.
Many people might be curious about this. We've completed the test drive and confirmed the springs are different, right? How does ride comfort differ between gasoline and hybrid vehicles?
When I rode in them, I felt the gasoline was better. This one feels a bit too soft and loose.
This one feels softer, while the gasoline felt a bit more composed than this. Banjang Nim preferred the feel of the gasoline version.
I use my car mainly on weekends and mostly drive on the highway. Because of that, things like straight line stability and driving convenience were a bit better with the gasoline one.
I think it would be good for you to keep this in mind when making your choice. Finally, the undercarriage is being revealed. What kind of changes have there been to the undercarriage?
Structurally, it's the same. The main difference is that this hybrid has a high voltage battery.
Is this the high voltage battery for the hybrid?
Yes, that's correct. It says LX3 Hybrid 52L specification here.
Wow, that's right. LX. 3 exactly V2L. I guess there are functional differences too.
Correct. Older standard types without V2L lack this. So the connector just goes in directly, but this one looks a bit different.
Oh, have these modules been added?
That's right.
Oh, so that's the difference. But personally, I think the hybrid battery is bigger than I expected. Didn't you expect it to be small? This area is small, and we used to have them under the second row seats.
That was for passenger cars, including models like the Tucson and Sportage?
For passenger cars like Tucson or Sportage, it's still just below the second row.
That's right. But now this one has a second row seat that can slide.
It has various features.
That's right. Because of that, it must have been difficult to put the battery under the seat, so it's right that it goes on the floor.
So that's the difference, huh?
Yes, structurally they're all the same.
Chief, why is your voice so hoarse today?
I caught a cold and now have a sore throat. I feel awful. So, as you can see, there's an engine transmission, and in the middle here, there's a transmission where the motor is combined. Please take a look at this transmission. Over here is sticking out to the outside through the cross member.
Oh, it's out of place. This part right here on my finger.
And look at this gap here. It's sticking out, right?
Oh, you're right.
Outside the frame.
I barely managed to get it right. Well, that's how I should think about it.
That's right.
Are you saying the size is really big?
That's right. I think the transmission engine is so big that they probably couldn't fit an 8-speed transmission in here.
And then a lot of people look under the engine and think that this black part might be the transmission, and this silver part is the engine, but actually this is the transmission. When you look from underneath, the transmission is actually bigger than the engine. And this time, it changed from the original TMED1 system to 2, so now there are electric motors inside, right? So you're saying that's why the size increased to the maximum.
That's right.
It even takes up the cross member, and when you look at it from the outside, it's to this extent.
If it sticks out this far.
Because of this,
So I thought about how many people must have worked hard just to put this in.
They struggled with the packaging, which may make the 8-speed automatic transmission structurally difficult.
So when I saw this, as I mentioned during the test drive review, I said that I don't think the 2.5 will be available in the Carnival.
In the Carnival. Still, but the domestic manufacturer made this transmission very compact.
And this car is a hybrid with over 300 horsepower. It's the first high output hybrid that didn't exist in our country before. So a transmission that can handle that torque had to be used, and I imagine that must have been quite difficult, right?
Looking at the lower part, this isn't an easy problem. It's not as simple as just putting in an 8-speed transmission.
Usually engines don't extend over the crossmember like this. In this case, it goes well past and they've barely covered the part sticking out beyond the frame. This is a bit disappointing. It would be nice if they used an aluminum pan.
This is just steel.
Because the Trax also has an aluminum pan.
They're really serious about the undercarriage. But I think it's changed a lot this time and they put some effort into it.
But now the price has gone up that much. The important thing isn't just that it's better, but how much better it is for the price. It's the same as the gasoline version. They use aluminum knuckles.
The knuckle has been updated in the new model.
They also used aluminum for the lower arm.
And for these parts as well, the knuckle is made entirely of aluminum alloy. And the stabilizer that helps with balance, what size is this?
The stabilizer's thickness varies between the preview model and others. In the case of the preview model, the suspension can switch between being firm and soft. So,
because it has a degree of autonomy.
For that autonomy, the thickness of the suspension stabilizer is a bit thinner.
You're saying that the electronically controlled stabilizer is actually a bit thinner.
Correct. The non-electronic version is 24.7 emits and the electronic one is 24.2 emits. A 0.5 emitter difference.
24.7 emits versus 24.2 emission, a 0.5 image difference.
So that's the difference when you look at it that way. And this vehicle is also all-wheel drive.
Because it's an all-wheel drive vehicle.
There's a transfer case that sends power to the rear wheels.
It's over here at the front. The transfer case runs from here all the way to the back, which is a bit surprising.
Since it's front-wheel drive based, and because the engine has over 300 horsepower, I think that's why we didn't really feel all that power during our test drive today.
It had 334 horsepower, but since it's front-wheel drive based, I think they probably had to put some limitations on it.
That's right. In situations like rapid acceleration, you definitely need to ensure a certain level of durability, and this car isn't really meant to be driven that way either.
Even its overall character.
Yes, its overall character. So I set it up to be a bit softer, and the reason I called it Ogi Tong today is because of that softer setup.
Still, it's more powerful than the original 4-cylinder.
When we drove the 2.5 gasoline, it was fine with gentle acceleration, but pressing the pedal brought out the typical rough 4-cylinder sound.
There was also that sound as if it were gathering strength.
But this one, like the old 3.8, just pushes smoothly all the way, and I really like that. But even if it's not a 6-cylinder, it's a 5-cylinder.
But that's still something, right? Then let me ask you a question, Mr. Banjong. You just mentioned it's a 5-cylinder, and since it's front-wheel drive based, you said maybe that's why they didn't put any restrictions on it. Hyundai Motor Group is reportedly considering a large-size rear-wheel drive hybrid as well. So even with this method, when switched to rear-wheel drive, naturally, regarding output,
it's much better. This front-wheel drive transmission is vulnerable to high torque. During the Veracruz era, Korea couldn't produce a front-wheel drive transmission that handled over 40 torque, so we sourced one elsewhere. Remember, we used the Japanese Aisin transmission?
That's right. So based on this, there shouldn't be any problem using it for the Genesis brand, right?
Correct, it's the Hyundai PowerTech rear-wheel transmission for Genesis. They already have a 380 horsepower transmission, right? So wouldn't a company with that also have a hybrid transmission for 330 horsepower?
Then...
Of course, I haven't seen it myself either.
I can't know for sure.
But I think they probably have it.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking if Genesis were to make a rear-wheel drive based hybrid system, maybe the engine would be a 3.0, something like that.
No, that's not it.
Then it's more likely to be a 2.5.
Even now, the G80 GV, 80 and GV, 70 all use the 2.5 gasoline engine, right?
And if they just equip it with a rear-wheel drive transmission, then it can handle high output, right?
That's right. So I think we can look forward to the next generation.
Let's keep an eye on this.
And now MDPS.
MDPS.
MDPS, this time a belt-driven MDPS has been applied, but for hybrids its straight line stability wasn't that great. Yeah, I think it's because the suspension is too soft.
There were some changes to the springs as you just mentioned, so it's become a bit softer, and because of that the steering response seems a bit less sharp compared to the gasoline version.
Actually, I think the gasoline version felt better.
These adjustments are really difficult.
That's right. The simplest way to set up a suspension is with the shock absorber, spring and stabilizer. Those three shape the feel, but the hybrid seems tuned a bit looser.
There's that kind of difference.
Since it's all-wheel drive, the drive shaft runs to the back like this. The rest is just the difference between having a battery over there or not, and everything else is the same.
Everything else is the same. Because it's a high-end vehicle, they've added thorough heat dissipation measures.
You said last time there was no heat dissipation.
Isn't the middle part not lit right now? This side already moved there.
There's nothing here at all.
One thing that's a bit disappointing is that if they had done a bit more on this side too, it would have been more satisfying emotionally.
Yes, it could be a premium feature with strong soundproofing.
I find this a bit disappointing.
So the fact that it's empty.
Chief, do people from outside usually do things like this?
Sometimes people from outside do soundproofing too. But if we do all that, it's 71.5 million won plus extras. We've already paid 70 million won? Yes, that's correct. If you continue, it will cost as much as a GV80.
You're right. Now that the price gap with the GV80 has narrowed, they should pay more attention to these things.
That's right. And now, the new HTRACK.
Is this it?
Yes, in the back there's a differential that sends power to both rear wheels. With the LX, 3-Peli I really liked always having power at the rear.
When Chief Ban first test drove it, he mentioned that. It sends more power to the rear wheels. Knowing that, it definitely feels that way.
It goes pretty well.
And it seems a bit smarter too.
It's always holding in its mouth. Unlike the gasoline model, this area no longer has sound-absorbing material, which used to block it before, when it was gasoline. Please play the video once.
Gasoline vehicles used to be like this, but now they're different.
But why is that? It's because when we drive gasoline cars, what did we say? We said there's a lot of exhaust noise, right? So the manufacturers know that, and that's why they put sound-absorbing materials in there.
Oh, really?
But hybrids don't have that now, right? Didn't we say during today's test drive that this car's exhaust isn't that loud? It feels a little different.
It feels a bit different.
Although it's called the same engine, the setup is different, and since it's newly tuned for a hybrid, it will likely feel different. It will be different. I also checked the rear springs earlier, and they're different from the ones on the gasoline model.
They're different. So when we usually think of a hybrid vehicle, we just assume only the engine is different and the fuel efficiency is better. That's the common way to look at it. But after hearing what Mr. Banjang said, it turns out there are changes in these parts as well.
That's right, these things have changed too.
So ride comfort definitely differs as well.
Yes, this is our third ride, and both times with the gasoline version felt similar. Today though, this one was especially smooth. I think those aspects show that there's a bit of a difference in the suspension.
Mr. Banjang, this vehicle now costs around 70 million won, but wasn't there previously a gap compared to imported SUVs? There was the Ford Explorer nearby, and recently the Honda Pilot has been keeping an eye on it. Isn't that the situation? If you evaluate the suspension, would you say it's appropriate for this level?
It's a bit disappointing for the price, but not long ago one of our subscribers contacted me and said something like that. He said that because the Palisade doesn't have a good reputation, even though he bought a new car, he doesn't really feel like he's driving a new car. Structurally and in terms of features, it's sufficient for its size, so he told me not to worry, but to be honest, it does feel a bit expensive.
It feels expensive, Mr. Banjang, that's how we should see it. Personally, to be honest, if I evaluate it based on the lower body, it's a bit lacking. But if I evaluate it based on the upper body is about convenience features. Even cars costing over 100 million won don't have interiors like this, right?
Don't we often nitpick about brand traits?
Apple.
These days, Hyundai seems to be focusing more on the interior.
The interior focus is excellent, but if they paid a bit more attention to the undercarriage to match that, satisfaction would go up.
That's right. So it shares the chassis with the Santa Fe, but since it's much heavier than the Santa Fe, it would be better if they reinforced it a bit more.
I think satisfaction would increase. Now that we've reached the top 3 in the world, things like that aren't just optional anymore. If they really listen, customer satisfaction will definitely improve.
That's right. Since the underbody is the same for today's test drive, we just took a quick look at what's changed. There's still stabilization left to be done in the future.
Stabilization, that's right. It's the most important thing.
That's right. This new car with a new engine and a new system always requires us to go through stabilization and verification.
We need to verify its internal stability.
That's right. The new car's quality will also be an issue.
Then, Chief, let me ask you one last question. We've reviewed gasoline engine vehicles before, and this time we've also test driven and inspected a hybrid vehicle's underbody. So what should we focus on when making a purchase?
For gasoline vehicles, they're good for those who want a large SUV and plan to use it mainly on weekends.
You can use it comfortably on weekends, and there's definitely a price advantage as well. What about hybrids? You mentioned a V6, so a V6 hybrid?
You have to pay almost 10 million one more, right?
You need to pay 10 million one more. The hybrid alone is 4 or 5 million.
I don't think 10 million one for a diary is right.
10 million one is a lot for a diary.
But you have to drive this car every day. For those who need to save a bit on fuel costs,
That's true, that's a really important point.
some people complain about the 11 to 12 km/h fuel efficiency without trying this car, but as you saw, even at 12 km/h I was impressed. It feels great. Because even though I'm driving an older model, the average fuel efficiency of the 3.8 is usually 5, 6 or 7 kilometers per liter.
That's unreal fuel efficiency, like something out of a dream.
If someone normally gets 7 kilometers per liter but suddenly gets 12, that's nearly a 40% increase. We don't always have to exceed 15 kilometers per liter. Just from this perspective,
If you approach it this way, the approach itself could be a bit different.
right, it could be different.
That's right. People who drive 6-cylinder cars value the satisfaction they get more than fuel efficiency.
That's right. And the price of the Palisade has gone up a lot, so it's not a car you can easily buy.
A hybrid with a 5-cylinder engine that's also fuel efficient.
That's right. So, if you have to drive this every day and you have a lot of mileage, I think a hybrid would be a good choice. But if you don't drive that much, it's not easy to make up the price difference with fuel savings alone. You really have to drive a lot.
So, in a way, it's not just about fuel efficiency, but also about performance. And if you look at it from the perspective of the comfort that a 5-cylinder engine gives compared to a 4-cylinder, that's another way to see it. A hybrid vehicle is a good choice.
Hybrid engines feel smoother than gasoline ones due to the extra motor.
If you check from the perspective of engine rotation feel, a hybrid vehicle would also be a good choice.
That's right. But the most important thing is to wait until things have stabilized a bit. If you're considering the Palisade, try out both the gasoline and the hybrid models to see which fits your needs. Test drive both before you buy.
Make sure to test drive and feel the difference. Whichever one you choose,
Choosing what suits you is most important.
I don't think you'll have any regrets. Banjang Nim, thanks for your detailed analysis of the new Palisade's undercarriage with the Okitong hybrid system. Well then, Banjang Nim, we have another hot new car prepared for next time. I'll tell you about this one next time.
All right, I understand.
Thanks so much for your words today.
Thank you.
If this was even a little helpful, please give it a like. Subscribe and turn on notifications to get accurate new car information quickly. Thank you.